associates. They'll talk about their experience, and it'll just be a time of rubbing minds together. And you can also ask your questions at the end of it all. You can ask your questions if you have any maybe gray areas, what you don't understand about the course, you can ask questions. That will be at the end of the whole streaming. So you're welcome. Joining me today, I have Dr. Kabir Ali Masanawa. He'll be one of our panelists. I have Ms. Uchechi Ezenyiroha. She also will be one of our panelists. And of course, we have our Executive Director, Mr. Kunle Lawal. He's also available. So without much ado, I would like to call up the panelists, and then we'll take it from there. So Dr. Kabir Alima Sanawa, you're going first, sir. You'll start with an introduction of yourself. You tell us how the polyteracy course was for you, your experience going through the course, and also what was your viewpoint about politics before going through the course, and has anything changed? You have 10 to 15 minutes, sir.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for the invite. Well, first of all, let me say congratulations for all those who have signed up for this polyteracy class. It's been a very good one for myself, because earlier on I thought it was something that is just like the IAGA lectures and all that. But my experience has really shown that for someone to be part of politics, you need to understand what your responsibilities are to the electorate. So don't go saying you want to go for an office and you don't know what the responsibilities are, because you will be held responsible for whatever actions you do or take during your tenure. And also the electorate should know what they are supposed to ask those who are representing them. And that's why some of us have seen senators, reps, House of Assembly members really fumbling. So polyteracy made it possible for me to understand every step from registration, from participation and all that. So for me, straightforward, I'll tell you that it actually gives you an X-ray of everything you need to know as an introductory thing, apart from the experience you need regarding internship and all that. You need to join all those things. But understanding what it means to be elected, and also for the electorate to elect, it's very important. And polyteracy has a unique way of teaching everybody. So I'm in between right now. So my service might be going on and off. But let me start with this introduction, and I'll join you much later. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Kabir. All right, Uchechin, over to you now. Can you introduce yourself and tell us how it was going through the polyteracy course?
Thank you, Wumi. I hope I can be heard. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, good evening, everyone. As was introduced, my name is Uchechi Ezenyiroha, and I was a part of the second cohort, I believe. This was in 2020, immediately after we had the Sorosuke uproar and the Lekki massive shootout. There was this excitement to get into politics and educate ourselves. So my cohort was quite popular in that time, because we were about 2,000 people who registered initially. And I remember when I joined, the ED at the time was, he was a bit thrown aback, because I don't think he expected that amount of people to come on. And that was quite an interesting set. So as a way of introduction, I'm actually the Deputy Director for Lagos State. I'm also a lawyer in my practice. I'd say that before my joining the Electoral College, I sort of had a lackadaisical mindset when it came to politics. I just thought it was for those people over there who are corrupt and they're up to no good. And there was really nothing I could do to change that. However, I got to learn quite a lot, by my being educated in the classroom. I got to learn that I don't only have to contest for election in order to participate. There's a lot I can do. I shouldn't be apathetic towards the electoral or the political scene in my country, because whatever decisions they make largely affects me. I would say the first thing to do when it comes to governance and politics is to get educated. Get educated so that not only are your arguments more intelligent and more meaningful, you're actually putting something out there that, is able to educate the entire populace. We talk a lot on social media, and sometimes when I see these arguments, I'm just like, obviously this person doesn't know the provisions of the law. This person doesn't know what checks and balances are. He doesn't know anything about the three arms of government and what their roles are. So the classroom or the classes really helped to educate me, despite the fact that I have a background in law, and obviously I got to learn about these things back in school, but somehow learning from people who are already in the field, for instance, Kunle Lawal, who has contested for Senate, that was really eye-opening to learn from someone who has actually been in the field, talking about the Constitution and how it affects me, and the fact that I can actually play a role in the removal of people that are already in power. We're not totally hopeless when it comes to our country and the people that are already in power. We actually can play a role and follow due process in removing people. It's not just to post things on social media. We can actually band together, form a community, and do things like referendum, to mention but a few. But yeah, these are the few things that sort of got me reorientated when it came to politics and governance. I would really encourage you to participate in every single class. Every single class is a different flavor. The people who come to teach, they're from different backgrounds. They have different things to offer. And one thing I like about the Electoral College is the wide array of topics. Even topics that has to do with our day-to-day lives, like the media, social media, how you can play a part as a young participant in politics. We talk about the fourth estate, which is the media, how they play a role. So there are different things you can learn about politics. It's not boring at all. It isn't boring. Strap up your seatbelt, you're in for a wild ride, and you're always able to ask your questions. You're given that allowance to ask your questions, however mundane they are. Nobody looks down on you. You're here to learn, and obviously when you learn, when you go back to your community, you take it back there and play your own role. I mean, from our classes, we've had people who have gone back to contest in different capacities, and trust that the Electoral College would always support you one way or the other. So yeah, you've taken a very great step, and I encourage you to follow it through to the end, because it's very rewarding. I hope I haven't taken too much time, but thank you. Thank you, Wumi.
All right, thank you very much, Uchechi. Yeah, like she said, you're actually in for a wild ride. So I'll encourage everyone to be part of the classes. It's one thing to register, it's another to participate. It's not just about registering for the classes, it's about actually participating and living with the needed knowledge to make a change. So yes, thank you very much, Uchechi, for that. We also have Mata Agba. She was also one of our very active participants in the past cohorts. You're welcome. Can we hear from you, ma'am? How was the experience for you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good evening, everyone, regional heads, co-host, and new students and colleagues. My name is Martha Agba from Cross River State, Nigeria, obviously. So I have interests for governance, and currently I work and serve as the SSA Humanitarian Affairs to the Governor of Cross River State. Amidst my political appointments, I have interest for good governance. So, but there's always like a starting point. There was this time where it was more like, okay, I know there's governance in Nigeria, but then again, I didn't know probably how to start. The only thing you just hear is politics is local, you have to go down to your community. But many times, even if you go down to your community, for someone like me, that I only just go visit and it's a day, 2 days, and I'm out of my community, it was like a big challenge because I didn't have immediate family members that were into politics, but I had interest. So it was more like asking questions. You start relating to people that were not blood. You start relating to, mostly it was even elderly people. So sometimes it was a challenge because you really don't understand why they do some things. But then again, it was more like you needed the constitutional knowledge to actually understand some of these things because it's more like a structure. So attending Polytracy 101 was a fundamental class for me because it was more like an eye opener. It made me understand who I need to hold accountable for whatever thing I'm saying. So the three arms of government are there for a purpose. So I don't stand or go to Twitter to say, why is the vice president not saying this thing on NSAS? Because to an extent, I understand that there's a power that is restricted to the office of the vice president. So some governors or the governors are even more powerful than the vice president. So because I understand some of these things, I cannot just go to Twitter or social media and say the vice president is coming to run for office. He never put a voice in NSAS because I understand. So when it comes to the state level, there's also like a structure. So maybe you see something like a post saying your governor is constructing this road or the governor has not constructed this road. So I understand there's what's called constituency projects. So some of these are supposed to be the work of probably your House of Rep member. They are the ones that are supposed to do some of these projects. So I now know who to hold accountable. So I can actually say, oh, the House of Rep member is supposed to, this is a federal road. House of Rep member, what's happening? Has it been allocated or not? What's actually happening? Then sometimes when you want to accuse your governor, it is not just the governor you need to accuse. There's something called like the ESCO members. So any project the governor wants to embark on, it has to go through like the ESCOs. So once the ESCO approve it, then the governor can actually come out and now say, oh, I'm doing this and all that. So sometimes you have questions. Why did you do this? Why did you? While it is the ESCO members we're actually supposed to hold accountable. But many a times, because we don't know these things, we just tend to put blames on the wrong people. So I think this part that you've chosen, if you're actually really dedicated, because you keep learning when it comes to Nigeria, because Nigeria is a very delicate and peculiar case and country, like I will say. So you keep learning every day. So you might finish your whole 6 week course and you tend to have better understanding about a lot of things, but you still keep learning, you still keep engaging. So I'll encourage everybody that has taken this boot step. It might not be very convenient, but I think the time is an hour too. And we can actually really do it. So I'm trying to say in essence that you didn't make a wrong choice being on this platform and registering. In this course, you actually have the opportunity to also educate other people and correct some other things because that's like the till long time goal. So you know you can actually tell this other person, oh, this is what it is supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to operate. The institution is supposed to do this and do that. So I say welcome to everybody and I wish you a safe ride. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Martha. That's actually our deputy director in Cross River. It's good to hear from you. And yes, everything she said, it's something we should put to heart. You will actually learn a lot in this course. So you should actually plan to learn a lot. You know, don't just register, but make sure you participate. In fact, your viewpoint about politics will change when you're done with this course. You will know that you have a role to play. Yes, it's not just enough to blame the government and blame everybody and point fingers. You know that the finger points first at you and you have a responsibility to play. And that was why this course was put together in the first place, to make people politically literate. We also have another panelist, Godson. He's on transit, however, so he'll just drop his contributions in the chat box. And then we'll take it from there. Dr. Kabir, would you want to join us again now? Okay, so Godson has dropped his contribution in the chat box. I'll just read it out. He says, my name is Godson Kelly. I attended the first cohort of the Politeracy class in April 2020. It was a mind shift experience for me. It gave me an insight into politics and governance in dimensions I've never imagined before. The facilitators were simply amazing people with a wide range of experience and understanding of the Nigerian political environment. The classes were well organized and timed. I looked forward to every class with excitement. Then I was still a serving corps member in a very primitive village in Enugu. I trekked long distances to the village square to get a stable network just to participate in the classes because I could not imagine missing anyone. That was at the wake of the COVID period, and it was the best thing I did for myself that period. Before the Politeracy course, I thought politics was all about having your posters on the wall and getting people to vote for you. I did not also understand that governance was different from politics. This is very key. It's one of the things you're going to learn. My knowledge of politics was very shallow, and I had believed some myths about politics, but the classes shaped my thoughts and views about the system. What changed for me at the end of the course was that the course inspired me to develop an intentional interest in politics and to search for more knowledge. After that time, I was accepted into different fellowships that train young leaders in public service and governance because my experience at the Electoral College course gave me a better understanding that helped me develop my personal objectives in politics. Today, I am very active in my state, bringing young people together to organize and lend their voice. In the future, I'll be running for office in my state. Thank you so much, Mr. Godson Kelly. That was very, very insightful and encouraging. Okay, Dr. Kabir, are you free now to talk with us? You just tell us what your mindset was about politics before the course and how it has changed. Okay, I guess he's still unavailable. So, Mata Agba, can you tell us, Deputy Director Cross River, what was your mindset before the course and did anything change?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, like I said earlier on, like I did mention, it was one word, transformational, which is I just knew I had interest for governance, but I didn't really know much about it. And I keep learning daily because you tend to meet more people as in the course of governance, the journey, like minds, people that have gone ahead of you, and you're like, oh, really? Is this how it ought to be, especially in Nigeria, you know? So I now knew that many a times I was just in the wagon of, oh, change the constitution, it's not favoring us and all of that. But I tend to now understand that we don't even use up to like 40% of our constitution. So how about instead of screaming change the constitution, how about saying things like, okay, let's start implementing what we have in the constitution. So I that was like the major thing for me. So I can actually stand now and say, okay, this is what the constitution is saying. So if you have arguments, okay, let's go back to the constitution. So it's more like we have Christians and the holy book is what works for us. There's Islam, the Holy Quran is what works. Then, as Nigerian, our holy book is supposed to be the Constitution. So, I don't think, but I stand to be corrected, about 85% of the youth, I don't want to even add the elderly people and those that are more advanced or those that even in secondary school don't really know much about the Constitution. But these are you not like you're going to know everything because I'm not like a barrister. Even some barristers don't really know all, but I just learned in the process. So there are a lot of things I did not know before that when I know now, and I am still learning. I'm still in the course of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. I can see some hands raised. We'll soon open the class for questions and discussions. But I just want Uchechi, the Deputy Director Lagos, to just say one or two things before we take the question and answer segment. So Uchechi, the question is, did anything change after attending the course? Did your viewpoints about politics change?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for me. Absolutely, a lot's changed. I would summarize it in one phrase: the confidence to step up. Right, I had a lot of confidence to step up and participate. First of all, just seeing others, people like Martha, who just spoke earlier, people like the councillor from Britain, who is also one of the facilitators, just seeing young people like me and also you two, that have joined this cohort, just seeing them being engaged in politics and speaking boldly and intelligently about the political affairs of the nation, it gave me the confidence that, what, I too also can participate. I don't have to just sit back and watch my country being run down by a bunch of people. I'm part of this country, and it is my right to participate in politics. And again, we hear a lot, during election or when it's almost time for election, there's always a call for get your voters registration done, get your voters card. And, in the past, it was always like, okay, this voters card, what really is it? But the truth is, it is very, very powerful. That piece of plastic is your right. It can change a lot of things in this country, because when you look at the statistics, you find that a lot of us, even the educated ones, have failed to register to vote. And that's, you're complaining on social media, your arguments do not really change anything. There are laid down procedures to this thing. And just like Martha mentioned, you look through the Constitution, because that's what really guides our affairs as a state, as a country. That's what guides our affairs. There are steps to effecting change in a country or in your state or even in your local government. You have to follow those steps judiciously. If not, you will just be empty clans of symbols just talking and they know these things. The people up there, they know these things, and they know that whatever you say or do, it will not change anything. You actually have to take those steps, get involved with the grassroots politics, get involved with your local government. There's a lot that can happen there that can eventually boomerang into, this massive change. So I think for me, it was just the confidence to step up, seeing that, politics is not just for the old and the rich, young people like me and you can do a lot to effect that change. So I think that's what this platform gave me. And I'm very happy to see that you all are interested in this. So I'll encourage you to see this through to the end, because it's quite worthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uchechi. Thank you for that. So now we'll open the class for questions. If you have questions pertaining the course, pertaining politics, whatever it is you're unclear about, now is the time to ask, and our panelists, of course, are on ground to answer our questions. So you can just indicate that you have a question with a show of hands. I can see one hand already up. So we'll start with that. Ayotola Adesanya, please, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Ayotola Adesanya.
Great to have you.
Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
So mine is not much of a question, but just to lend my voice. I came across this on social media, and because of my background as a political scientist and with my diploma in law, I have always been part of governance, no, not governance, politics, and I've always been interested in governance and all that. So, but I understood the fact that there is or there was a very big gap. Worse in the sense that we are now beginning to feel it with activities like this, with innovations like this, and with the consciousness that it is high time we need to begin to actually educate ourselves. The challenge is a whole lot of persons. In a quick one, I say that Nigeria is divided into three. The high and mighty that are up there, playing politics and the businessmen that enjoy from their laggings. You and I in the middle that are just tired of everything, and sometimes majority of us actually really don't know how to engage properly with these people. So we just leave it to them and we just face our hustle and we just want to be better for ourselves. The last set of people are the people who I call the very, very low class people who are not just ignorant, but are hungry. And poverty is so very endemic in their circle that it can be exploited and taken advantage of. So I have always said that the political class and the upper class skip those of us in the middle because they know that we don't know what we should know, even though they know we have the power to effect the change. And go to those that they can actually lie to, cajole, and pry on their poverty situation. I mean, to some persons, 500 naira, 5,000 naira to sell your vote is a big deal. But for somebody like me, you cannot give me 5,000 naira and say, in fact, you cannot give me any amount of money to say I should come and sell my vote. If the money is big enough, I will collect it and I will still vote by conscience because I know. So I have always said that what we need to do more as young people is to educate ourselves. And when I saw this, I was so very interested in it. I wanted to be part of it. And I will be using this opportunity to encourage everybody that is joining and say kudos to those that have joined and those that have put all this together. I look forward to a very beautiful period in this class. And I think that's it. So my name is Ayotola Adesoya. I'm from the state. I live in Songwater. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ayotola. Thank you for your contribution. We have Elder Jason. I can see his hand up. Please, you can go ahead, unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Sunday. Umi, I don't know if I'll be jumping the gun by asking this question, but I was expecting maybe you'll give us an overview of what we should expect from the program before the commentaries.
Okay. Like the topics and all, right?
Yes, ma. Like the modules expected to cover.
Okay.
And, yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Though it's actually on the Telegram group, but no problem. I can go through it again for the benefit of those that have not seen it. So yes, we'll be having a 27 course outline, and some of the topics include the executive. We're going to cover that. You know, some people don't even know the difference between executive, legislative, and judiciary, and even the local government. So we're going to cover the tiers of government. We're going to cover the arms of government. We're going to talk about political parties and structure. We're going to talk about candidate declaration, manifesto, and agenda for those that have, plans and goals to be actively involved in the front lines of politics, either now or in future. We're going to talk about communications in politics, especially using social media. We'll look at result collation and post-elections. We'll talk about the fourth estate in a democracy. The fourth estate refers to media. The media has a huge role to play in politics, and we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at democracy and citizen participation. We're going to look at the law and its enforcement and its impact on governance. We're going to talk about the psychology of politics, inclusion in politics. This is especially women. We don't have enough representation of women in politics yet. So we're starting to come up a bit, but there's still more work to be done. Women, youths, and people living with disabilities. So inclusion in politics. We're going to look at advocacy and policy influencing. We're going to look at bill proposals. We're going to look at challenges of young people in politics. We've had a lot of young people, starting to garner interest in politics. I'm sure that's one of the reasons most of us are here, most of us registered for this course, is because your interest in politics is starting to be stirred if it wasn't before. So we're going to look at some of the challenges you might face as a young person in politics and how to overcome these challenges. We're going to look at governance and corruption. Are they supposed to go hand in hand? Do they always go hand in hand? No, they don't. And they are not supposed to. We're going to look at the Nigerian Constitution and citizens' rights, government policies and the economy, governance and accountability using technology. We're going to look at the effect of external actors on Nigerian elections. We're going to look at myths and realities in politics. We're going to look at leadership, what it's about. And of course, there's a special course at the end of the whole classes. We're going to look at how music plays a role also in social change. And that's going to be taken by someone whose name I will not let out of the bag yet. So yeah, so that's about the scope of the course. It's going to start on 25th of February and it will go through till the 24th of April. It's going to be on weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So yes, and of course, you have a certificate at the end of the course, but that will be subject to your attendance and participation in the classes. You have to have at least 60% participation in classes. Assignments will be given. You have to do them and submit them, and all this will determine if you get a certificate or not. So yeah, this is the scope. It's a very rich bouquet, I can assure you. Like after you go through this course, you're going to be so knowledgeable about everything politics. It's going to give you a really good foundation if you've not had one before. So yes, I actually congratulate you on taking the step to be part of this course. I hope that explains better.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So Dr. Onyeka, I can see her hands up. She was actually supposed to be one of the panelists, but she got engaged. So I'm guessing she is free now. Dr. Onyeka? Dr. Onyeka, you can join us. Okay, I guess she's probably still trying to join in. We can't hear her yet. Okay, we have another hand up. Emmanuel Gold, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening. I'm Emmanuel Okede, so I'm happy to be here. I really appreciate the effort of the organizers and the initiators of the program. May the Lord bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you.
My question is this: is there provision for maybe handout for each topic? Hello.
Yes, there are. For each course has its own slides. So yes, there are.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Dr. Onyeka, are you available now? If you can hear me, we can't hear you yet. Maybe you could try signing in again. Okay, so do we have any more questions about the course, about what to expect? Okay, we have a hand up from Comrade Swaitan Gafaro. Please, you can unmute and ask your question. Comrade Swaitan Gafaro Afolabi, you can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm very happy to be one of the beneficiaries for this program. I really thank all the bodies and our boss. But my question is this: with this certificate we are going to acquire after this knowledge, is there anything you can use it for, except maybe for politics issue, or maybe can we add any of our CV or whatever? If there's any advantages of it apart from political feed.
Well, to answer that question, of course, you can use it as part of your CV. It's showing that you've gone through a particular course and you've added knowledge to yourself. So yes, even if it's not politics related, it's still a show that you're knowledgeable in politics and you can be an effective leader, because what you're learning is not just for if you want to be a governor or if you want to be a senator. It's to have knowledge about how politics work and how to be a leader and how to hold leaders accountable. So yes, it's a very great addition to your CV.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. That's all. I really appreciate it. That's all.
Hello. Hello.
All right, I can see someone asking a question in the chat box that will recordings be available. Yes, we usually record the classes, but we noticed that it made people lazy. They won't attend the classes and then they want to listen to the recordings afterwards. So we'll leave that decision to the executive director if we'll be sharing the recordings after the classes. But yes, we record all classes.
Wumi, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, Dr. Onyeka, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. I don't know what's happening. Good evening. Let me speak fast before this goes off again. I want to say good evening to everyone. I see my regional executives, Uchechi, I see Martha, I see Dr. Kabir and Godson. Thank you so much. And I also want to commend every person on this call who has registered or who is intending to register for the 7th season of Polytracy 101. I believe that by reason of even being on this call, it's a Sunday evening and it takes a lot of dedication to actually log on to a call like this. I want to say a few things. Number one, Polytracy is a platform for a change in mindsets. You know, there's a popular adage that says knowledge is power. And, you know, by the time you get involved in Polytracy, you'd be amazed at the number of things you knew or which you thought you knew that are actually false. And I want to challenge everybody who will be part of the 7th season to go the extra mile. Push yourself. The classes hold from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Fridays to Sundays. Not everyone will get to the last day of class. Some people will start, but by reason of the way things are normally, they will fall along the wayside. I challenge you to push yourself right through all the classes. And while you attend each class, I want you to ask yourself, how can I do better as a citizen of Nigeria? You see, it's not just about participating in governance or in running for office. There are so many ways to affect or to impact our political ecosystem positively. There are people who will go on to become advocates. There are people who will go on to choose a certain career path or to change career path, maybe get involved in law because they want to see things change about the way the justice system is run in Nigeria. I challenge you to push yourself through because knowledge is power. And as long as we have breath in us, we must do our best to keep learning, unlearning, and relearning. Bear in mind that Polytracy is just an avenue for this. Whatever it is you decide to get from Polytracy really is up to you. It's an opportunity, and I'm hoping that every one of us here who intends to participate in the 7th season will make the best of this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onyeka. She was actually the best student in the last cohorts. Yes, there's actually an award for the best student. So yes, that's letting the cat out of the bag before then. So there's an award, a special award, a certified, like you have a certificate for it, which you can also add to your CV. Yeah, okay, so I can see another hand up. Oh, the hand has gone down. Okay, then. Do we have any more questions? Our executive director will soon come up. But before then, do we have any other questions? Okay, Dr. Onyeka, okay, you're still with us. Dr. Onyeka is actually our head of strategic partnerships. So I just wanted to ask you, what was your viewpoint about politics before going through the course, and did anything change?
Thank you, Wumi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I take it everyone else can. So so the thing is that I've always had an inclination with respect to politics, but I also have a background in policy. So it wasn't like, I was hearing things that I had never heard before. But I will say that a lot of the things I heard, I knew, but I also relearned some things, and I also had to unlearn some things. So I have an interest in politics. And also that's also by reason of my background, and I mentioned policy. You would come to realize that politics and policy are interconnected. As a matter of fact, politics affects policy. Before you go ahead to, implement any policy, even before implementation, at the point where you're discussing what your options are, you find out that politics is affecting every single decision that you're making. And if you really need to get something out of that process, you need to be grounded in politics. You need to know how to deal with people who are in public office. So I already had that orientation, but I think what Polytracy did for me was also change my mindset about how I viewed politics. Many times we have, an us against them mentality. Many times you would hear people say, oh, politics is a dirty game. And that is how I've always felt about politics. And, I feel that way because I know certain people who are actually actively involved in politics, and I see the bullying, I see, how people can try to dent your image. I see the struggles, then you hear about corruption. There's just so much going on. And so prior to Polytracy, I was always like, no, please. Even despite my background, I was like, I can't do this. Like, politics is a dirty game. But one of the very first things that you will hear Kunle Lawal, our esteemed, ED, one of the first things you hear him say is that it's not politics that is dirty. It is the way that the game is being played. It is the players involved that are dirty. And that the players are dirty doesn't mean that the game is dirty. So that is one of the first things, that you will hear him say when you start Polytracy 101. And so for me, that was my mindset shift. So I actually, while Polytracy was going on, I started saying to myself, come on, I can't be like this. I need to be more active. I need to participate more. And what would that mean? For me, that would mean going to not only getting a PVC, but also thinking about joining a political party that aligns with my ideologies, So that was what it did for me. Like, it was like a wake-up call, like, Onyeka, wake up and move. And Onyeka, wake up and contribute however you can, even within your circle of influence. Thank you.
Oh, awesome, Dr. Onyeka. So how were the courses? How diverse were they really?
Okay, so what first thing, I want to say that I'm a bit jealous of, of the people who will be participating in the 7th season, because I can see that there have been additions to the course outline. So there's music and politics and its influence on politics, and there are a few other interesting bits here and there. And without looking even too deep into the course, into the models, one thing pops up immediately, and that's how diverse these topics are. So one day you are talking about media and politics, the next day you're talking about the legislative, another day you're talking about interference, from external bodies and associations in the way our political ecosystem is run. So it's very diverse. And you don't even need to have a background in politics. You don't need to have a background in political science or policy to actually grab this thing. So the course is easy for anyone to understand. And the Electoral College is doing all it can to actually get this information out there, even to the grassroots. The Electoral College is looking to break it down so that someone in one remote village in Ogun State or wherever can understand, the course outline. Again, the idea is to empower the citizens of Nigeria so that we can make better decisions, but also come together to build the Nigeria that we want to see, while being aware that it will take, some time. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Onyeka, before you go, one last question. So now you've been adopted by the college, you're head of strategic partnerships. So how does that feel? And why were you adopted? You know why?
Wumi, this is a setup. Even honestly, and I was still speaking with ED Kunle about it yesterday, and I'm like, please, why me? Like I was sitting in my own corner. He had his reasons for that, but I think at the end of it, I think what it is for me is, again, drawing on from the learning experience I have had, while being an associate or a member of the 6th cohort of Polytracy 101. As I mentioned earlier, I challenged myself to start doing things a bit more differently. And when I got that news that I was going to be, the head for strategic partnerships, initially I was like, oh my goodness, can I do this? Like, oh my gosh, how is this possible? But I remembered everything that, I had heard during the entire program. And I said to myself, Onyeka, if you're going to start, if you're really challenging yourself, then you're going to have to start doing things, even though they might make you uncomfortable, because it is in doing and doing repetitively that we gain expertise. So that was the mentality I used, or I adopted in taking up the task. And it's been amazing because, at the end of the program, you come to realize that the Electoral College Nigeria is pretty much a family. It's a support system. So you're learning from each other. You're establishing connections, that hopefully will go on to last a very long while. But you also have people that are willing to push you, people that are willing to bring out the best in you, people that are willing to support you, regardless of the situation you find yourself in. And really, that alone makes your life, or my life, easier as things stand. And as the deputy director for strategic partnerships, I'm really hopeful that we are going to be able to push ECN even to heights that we never would have thought were possible. So yeah, that's what we're looking to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Onyeka. I'm sure your talk has probably inspired a lot of people. So yes, thank you for that contribution. Before I call the ED up, I would just like the Deputy Director Cross River to say some words. Martha, are you with us?
Okay, so I want to chip in something. So in as much as they've called out these courses and the outline, I think I want everybody to feel relaxed and at home, so you don't feel like maybe some people will be like, oh, I don't forget everything about school, I don't want, but I want to say that this is something that along the line you're going to enjoy. But before then, so I want to share your thoughts, a penny for your thoughts. So I'll be calling some people randomly just to make a statement. So I'm going to just ask random questions. So in case I just call your name, just anything I just ask you, so some people can actually hear. So you just feel, because sometimes most of the classes are going to be interactive. So it's not just talk. So you actually going to share your ideas and we just hear what you want to say. So I will be starting with, then I don't know, some female. I like to make it balanced. I know some people don't have their pictures, but through the names, I'm just trying to. So there's Mojisola Olawoye. Can you hear me? Please, can you unmute? 2 seconds, please. Mojisola. Hello, darling. How are you doing this evening? So I'm going to ask you, what you thought about politics in Nigeria?
Sorry, we lost you there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, what's your thoughts about politics in Nigeria?
Politics in Nigeria is actually a no-no for me. Like you believe you have seen it all, and the following day you're hearing different things that you never thought you could ever, see happen. So for me, politics in Nigeria is a no-no, and it's shitty, if I'm actually allowed to use that word. But when I came across the link on a friend's WhatsApp status, I'm like, okay, fine, because we're actually challenged in church. I attend reading. Sorry, I'm bringing politics into this, and what we're actually working on.
It's fine. We're fine.
Youth politics. So after we finished, the person that anchored the program said, "Okay, you guys are all talking. Do you even know your constituency leader? Do you know this? Do you know that?" It was last week Sunday, and I was challenged. So I saw the link, and I'm like, okay, wow, maybe this is the time to do more, learn more about politics, and see if I can actually be of change. But back to your question, politics in Nigeria, it's a no-no for me, to be honest.
3 questions. Are you below 30?
Yes.
Do you have a PVC?
I registered to get one already.
Do you belong to any political party?
No.
So your first assignment is to register in a political party this week. I want to see your card. You're going to send it to the Electoral College email. That's your first assignment. Okay. We have Christine Vihishima, if I am calling you correctly. Can you unmute, please?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Electoral College. Your thoughts on governance in Nigeria, please.
Okay, I think that it's very intriguing how we experience governance in Nigeria. I think that we haven't gotten to the point where we feel it is our business, to be honest. And I think for me, what?
You said we, so I'm asking who is we?
Well, okay, myself and a couple of other people that I know. I mean, getting people to even sign up for this was a challenge because I could see that my peers are very lackadaisical when it comes to electoral issues, to be honest. A lot of us feel like it's not our business.
Where are you from?
So, for me, I'm from Benue State, but I'm domiciled in Plateau State.
Okay, in Plateau State. Okay, so how long have you been in Plateau?
Yes.
How long have you been there? How long have you been in Plateau State?
I've been in Plateau State for 27 years.
Okay, that means you're an indigene.
Well,
are you there?
Well, I don't know if I'd call myself an indigene. I was born there anyways.
Okay, you speak Hausa fluently then?
Well, let me say 60% yes, but I also speak my language.
Do you have a PVC?
Yes, I do.
But you don't belong to a political party?
No, I'm still making the decision on which to join.
Do you hope to run for office someday?
Yes, I do.
Could I come in here? Good evening, everyone.
Yes, please.
My name is Kunle Lawal. I'm the Executive Director of the Electoral of Nigeria. And Christine, you said something that you are from Benue State, if I'm right, and you are domiciled in Plateau State, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's no law in Nigeria that stops anyone from running for any of the states they choose. There's no law against it. And if I could chip in, I would say I'm from Kwara State originally, but I ran for Senate in the FCT in 2019. I just saw a need, Martha, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just saw a need to tell everyone this, so that I didn't want to forget, so that they know there's no law against that. It's just a mindset that has been embedded in Nigerians, which of course we've carried along for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
All right, that's fine. So, so you are going to actively get involved in governance in Plateau State. So yes, we'll be expecting a role from you very soon.
Okay.
You're laughing. Yes, it's part of
no,
your
I actually.
So
yes,
you're going to
yes,
be giving us feedback of events.
Sure.
Congress is going to come up very soon. Politicking and consulting is actually going on. So we expect to hear events politically from you.
Okay.
That's one assignment we're giving you already. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please, can I have Mr. Omotayo Bamishe on mute, please. If you can hear me. Mr. Omotayo Bamishe. 2 seconds.
Martha, if Mr. Omotaya is not there, so as not to slow the class, Ibrahim Mohammed has his hands up. I think he should go ahead.
Okay, please, can you unmute?
Ibrahim Mohammed, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Ibrahim Mohammed from Kaduna State. The Niger State. Excuse me, I'm Ibrahim Mohammed from Kaduna State.
Yes, we can hear you.
Croc City.
Yeah, Croc City, exactly.
Yeah.
Though, and also an indigenous of Niger State. But I was born and bred up in Kaduna State, and I schooled here, everything in Kaduna State. But sometimes, you know, we still have this political issue of indigenous sheep and settler, whatever. So sometimes participation in politics becomes kind of limited to people like us. So no matter how you wanted to feel among, and that dichotomy of indigenous sheep and settler, whatever, will come in. So you just have to stay as a male voter and something like that.
I want to chip in something, but when I'm done, I think Edie has a better answer for that. I want to say there are many people that I know politically that were born in places contrary to their state of origin, and they hold political offices. They've run for office. So you saying this is what is like a hindrance to you, I want to just summarize it because that's a mindset you believe. And I now ask you, how much value have you created in the political space? Because if you're actually creating value, there's no how you would not be carried along. So maybe you're feeling intimidated and saying to yourself, oh, after all, I'm not even from here, so maybe. But then again, turn it around. There's no how you have the knowledge system and you go there, you make your point, you say you were born and brought up in this particular place and all of that, you will not be given a chance to get involved. So I'm asking, how much value have you created? I understand what you're saying totally. So I'm not saying, because in as much as we go through these courses, life experiences that along the line you get to hear. So it's not like we're just coming to just say, oh, this is it, this is what you need to know, this is what you do. But we're going to have people that have experiences. And this, what you're saying actually is part of it. I can totally understand it very well. Yeah. But it still boils down to asking the question, like, how much value have you created? How committed have you been to the party?
For now, I'm not partisan. I'm still at the voter level, but I hope to get myself engaged at a higher stage sometime.
Okay, so that means to an extent, it is safe to say you've not actually tested the waters. You're only assuming.
Though I have seen like cases in the past where people of high quality who have contributed immensely to the society and everything. So when it comes to politics and that indigenship, whatever come up.
No, but you cannot use someone's destiny to judge your own, or you cannot use someone's grace to match your own.
Agreed, but so I'm trying to be more like...
What if you were born in that place to be the change? What if you were born to give people the inspiration to actually be the cause for change in that particular time?
For now, I'm more of creating awareness among the people.
It's not bad. It's still a great start.
Yeah, it's still a good start.
Creating awareness, how we can get past all those indigenship. Let's just go for someone who is ready to serve and add value to the lives of the people. And we're making tremendous progress in that regard, and people are getting to understand it very well.
Okay, that's fine. The Electoral College will always be here to support you when you need our advice, guidance. And we also have something we are doing with Kaduna School. Edie, I can't really remember, but there's something we're doing in Kaduna. Or Edie also lectured the local government chairman. We had a training we did for local government chairman in Kaduna, and I think Kaduna Business School as well. Electoral College is involved, so we kind of like can actually help and put you through and get you involved starting sooner as well.
Exactly.
So we'll be
Thanks very much, Deputy Director, Cross River Matter.
I'll
Thank
be
you
glad.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks to all the contributors, Ibrahim, Christine, and I think Mojisola. Yeah, it was great hearing your ideas. So right about now, we'll be calling up our Executive Director, the visionary of the whole Electoral College. He'll be telling us, what's informed the breadth of Electoral College, about the cohorts, about the changes through the cohorts, and just a 360 degree about the whole course. So yes, Mr. Kunle Lawal, ED Africa. You're welcome, sir. Can we hear from you?
Thank you very much, Lisa. And we really need to do something within the Electoral College, because I think women have taken over the college. Anyway, it's nice to see that. Thank you.
You've been saying women inclusion now, so we're stepping up.
We didn't say it should take over the whole thing. Anyway, okay, anyway. Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to have this orientation class. It's the first time we're having an orientation class. Normally, we just put down the rules and expect everyone to work. So I'll start with the concept of the Electoral College. So post me running for office in 2019, we found out that, and a group of friends found out that ingenious, smart candidates do not normally evolve, because the people are mostly politically illiterate. Now, this is something that's kind of hard for us to understand and also think of, but the truth is we are, which is why good candidates do not emerge. So the Electoral College was birthed, and I would say we tried to teach first physically, and it was quite, a lot of cumbersome financial, a lot of weight financially. And then the college now diversified into trying a cohort on Zoom. I would say one of the benefits of COVID-19. This is our 7th cohort. You're students now. By the time you graduate, you'll be known as the associates. The college itself has diversified its operations. So it has 2 arms. It has the board, which is the board of trustees, then it has the region. The region is made up of students that performed exemplarily well within the class. We adopt them under our wing within separate cohorts, and they are the working or the operational arm of the Electoral College. The Electoral College, apart from this Politics and Governance course, also has Politics and Governance course running on radio on WFM. We're about to institute one in Kano or in Hausa, and about to institute one in Owerri in Igbo. Those are talks that are being held right now. The Electoral College also has decided to take a step further and taking politics and governance, of course, to religious institutions, the church and mosques. We have done that, and we feel literacy, that's being politically literate, is necessary for general understanding of Nigeria to be able to move forward. So your course goes through the executive, the legislative, how they function, how these arms work. We go as far as teaching you how a manifesto and agenda as a candidate should be, because we believe that citizens cannot just understand a good manifesto. They need to understand a good manifesto. We must understand how manifestos should be, and then you should also know jurisdictions of office, so that when someone who's running for legislative office starts promising you heavy, heavy executive promises, you also understand that these things are not possible. So it's a pleasure to have you guys here. I would like to say, coming across cohorts, we have people that are jealous of you guys, like I said, because cohort 1 didn't have the kind of bouquet that you are having in 7, even 6. Dr. Onyanka was in 6. That's our Deputy Director of Strategic Partnerships. I think she said, I heard this while I was listening, and said she's jealous of you guys. It's shocking though. Our Zoom can take 500 and 1,000 actually, and we just have 33 here. But we feel this is an orientation course. This course is actually recorded. It's on our YouTube. Somebody's asking how many hours these sessions take. So your classes, we put it down there, but I'll say it here. Your classes are Friday to Sunday. Every week is supposed to last 9 weeks. Classes are 5 to 7. That's the time. It might finish before 7, it might finish. So most of the time we try to make it not last past 7. And it depends. It depends on the interactive nature of the class, how you are interacting with the facilitator and etc. So generally, I'd like to welcome everybody to the class. I'd like to say that if you have any other questions, I can see Comrade's hand or Comrade Gafara Folabi, you could ask me and I'd be proud to answer your questions. Thank you. Comrade Gafar, you can unmute your mic.
Comrade Gafar, you have a question?
Comrade Shoeton Gafara Folabi, I think. Well, seems he's not here. Any questions from across the room? I'll be open to.
He actually asked the question the other time. I don't know. Okay, he has unmuted. Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think hello.
We can hear you.
I think partially. Okay. I think partially you have answered my question.
Hello, did I lose you or everybody did?
We can't hear you anymore, Comrade.
I want to ask the duration of the week's program. Hello,
Okay.
I want to ask, we have partially answered the question, but I want to ask about that. How many weeks we are going to spend for this
it's
program?
On the flyer. 9 weeks.
Yes, and I actually spoke about it in the
I see according
class.
to the
Maybe you were not paying attention.
Oh, they are no. After I raised it up the hand, that's why they continue their education.
Okay, the classes will run until 22nd of April.
Okay.
It'll be weekends. Yes, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Weekend. Okay. There's no problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Ibrahim Mohammed still has something to say, or a question to ask. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I would like to know if there is going to be any assessment at the end of the classes before certification.
Okay. Let me answer that. You would have assignments, but the assignments are not to. Okay, we don't want to operate like school so that it's tedious. We're a school, but we're not operating exactly like school and putting you under pressure. But we would like to see what we are impacting into you and how you're responding to it. So you have assignments. Your assignments will come up every Wednesday at 12 p.m. and you should submit before Friday, 12 midnight. And it will not be anything technical, trust me. It will only be based on what we've taught you. It would also just be, just a clearer picture of what exactly went on within the class, and us understanding from your feedback, that's your answers, how well we're able to disseminate the information that you've received. Is that okay, Brian?
Yeah, thank you. It's okay.
Thank you.
All right, so do we have any more questions? Elder Jason, I can see your hand up again.
Sorry, my own is not a question per se. I tried going to the YouTube to check the channel. I typed electoral college. I saw more than 1,000 electoral colleges. So I don't know which one is the schools.
You would have just added Nigeria. This one is live right now. Right now, this class is being loaded on YouTube directly, so it's live on YouTube.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Now. So
thank you.
I'll share the link and post on the class group.
Okay, thank you.
It's my pleasure, Elder. Thank you. I believe we have Idris Kende. Hello, Idris Kende.
You can ask your question, Idris. Are you there? Okay, if you're not there, Toluwanimi, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I was on the platforms with you when we started. I think my network went bad, so I really didn't I'm just coming back now, so I didn't really get a whole lot of information going on. Okay, a quick one now though. This is a good idea, but it's a good idea because of the person that actually recommended this to me. And I've been following, I've been trying to actually figure out, okay, what exactly is this supposed to be about? So basically, I just want to know the purpose, like what is this supposed to achieve at the tail end of everything? It's being, I mean, people are getting certifications for this and all that, but then what exactly is this supposed to actually achieve? That's basically what I want to know.
Thank you very much. Tomi, right?
Tolu here.
Tolu, sorry. Okay, Tolu, I'm sorry about that. So what is this supposed to achieve? The truth is that the Electoral College is multifaceted. So what normally comes out is different depending per person. We have people who have participated and are now part of the MASA student body, the executive council, meaning they've run for office within there. We have people that have run for office actually in real life. The college target is just to take out the curtain which blinds politics, just to unveil what's behind the so-called door, or the murky waters, to kind of clarify the murky waters, which is called politics. So what's been done with it, or what ends up, it's always different from individual to individual. The truth is, we intend to look at it and then try to divorce our thoughts from mindsets which we think are not necessarily the truth. Like someone mentioned earlier here, and we're talking about someone from somewhere else running in another state, and I gave an example, and I stated that laws of Nigeria do not stop you. If you've lived 27 years somewhere, I believe wherever you pay your taxes, you should be able to run for office. There is no law stopping you. I think what has stopped us actually is a mindset that we think it's not possible. And I remember stating it myself that I do not come from Abuja. I come from Kwara State. I was born and raised in a little town called Zaria. It's not a little town. It's the Emirates. I was raised in Zaria, and I lived in Abuja for about 17 years before I ran for Senate in 2019. So those kind of things, those kind of thought processes, we intend to change and not just open the door clearer for you to see. I think that's the objective, clear objective. Tolu, are you there?
Oh yeah. It makes quite some tangible sense. Makes a tangible sense. All right.
All right. So we have a hand up from Idris Kehinde. This, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question. Idris, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, Idris.
Hello, good evening. Idris is my name. Yeah, the question I tend to ask, I've already even posted it, is that are we going to have a place to have a recorded version of all the lecture in case one missed any of the lecture?
I'll explain this clearly. Because this class is free, it costs you nothing. That doesn't mean those who attend should not be given a particular credence. We've noticed that across our
Hello,
cohort.
I can hear
you. Hello? Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Edie.
Okay, he said he can't hear me. Anyway, we've noticed across our cohorts that if we're placing recordings, nobody will attend class. So the Electoral College stands on a very firm position, because you receiving a certificate is based on part of what we ask for, because these classes are free. The only thing the Electoral College is asking you for is that you should attend class. It's not asking you for any other thing. Okay. And by the time you're done with this class, you would ask a very relevant question. can I pay for this class? I'll tell you officially, you can't. But we can't let the cat out of the bag too quickly. So you get to learn, you get to see what's behind the college over time. I'm not a very good marketer. I'm sure I can't even sell anything, but eventually you get to see what the class is made of.
But why I'm asking the question is most time on that Friday between 5 to 7, I always on transit from where I work to where I live. That's why I'm asking if there could be any recording so that I won't be able to mix the class.
I'll be honest, our Zoom records, if you notice this class is being recorded, it's also being shown on the YouTube link. If you were going to do that, if you have that particular issue, you can forward that to the admin and explain why you would miss Friday classes. And of course, we would oblige and send you personally the videos as regards the classes you miss. Thank you very much. Good day.
All right.
Any more questions?
I don't see any hands up at the moment. So I'm guessing we've trashed the issue for today. Okay, there will still be another class next weekend, still a pre-class. Officially, class starts 25th of February, but there will be a class next weekend. We'll be dissecting the Constitution of Nigeria. I really look forward to that class because a lot of Nigerians do not know what the Constitution is all about. We just know there's a Constitution somewhere. So yes, ED will be dissecting the class, the Constitution for us next weekend. You sure do not want to miss it. And of course, registration is still ongoing. Make sure you tell people about it. It's free. Like Edie said, you actually cannot pay for this class. So please share to your friends, let them register, let them come on board and get the needed knowledge. We all have a part to play in making Nigeria a better place. It's everybody's responsibility. It's not for just one person. We all have to join hands together to do this. So yeah, before we go this evening, I want to appreciate everyone.
You noticed the question. I noticed the question.
Card box.
And it was what day next week? It will be this time, Sunday.
Same time.
5 o'clock.
Same time. Same day, same time.
But I would advise something. Just follow the group, the Telegram group. We have flyers for every class. There's a flyer for every set class. That's the way it works. That's how or let me put it, that's how we roll in the college. So there's always a flyer. There's always something. I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Lisa, I yield the mic to you.
All right. Thank you to all our panelists. Thank you, Mata Agba, our Deputy Director, Cross River. Thank you, Uchechi, Deputy Director, Lagos. Thank you, Dr. Onyeka, Deputy Director, Head of Strategic Planning. And Maureen Yobo is also here, the Executive PA to the Executive Director. Maureen, we've not heard your voice at all this evening. Can you say good evening to the class? Okay.
Good evening. I'm on transit. That's why I've not been talking.
Okay. Awesome, Maureen. It's great to have you here. So thanks to everyone who joined. Dr. Ali has left, but he was part of this. Godson has left. He was here too. So thank you to everyone who participated, who commented, who asked a question, who listened in. Make it a date this same time next week, Sunday. Tell everyone you know about it. They're invited. Let them learn. When you know better, you do better. That slogan has never left me. So yes, and thank you to our ED. Thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule to be with us this evening. It was great having you here. So thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. And whatever information you need to know will be passed on the Telegram group. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.